Hi, I'm Red Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 44 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, asking Jesus for clarity, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So we're in the first set of review lessons, and today we're on lesson 57. So paragraph one, which is talking about lesson 31, I am not the victim of the world I see. One of my favorite lessons. I didn't really see how it could be true when I first read it. I absolutely felt like a victim. But because Jesus is my guide, I believed that somehow it must be true. And that was enough to turn things around for me. I just trusted. What I know now is that everything is a thought. If a thought doesn't serve truth, I can let it go, and a truer thought will take its place. I cannot be a victim of a world that is a projection from my own mind. My mind is my servant, I remind myself often. It does not tell me what to believe. I tell it what to believe. So if I have a thought that needs to be forgiven, I just do that. If I have placed a lot of value in that belief, as I had with the idea of victimhood, I will have to instruct my mind to think differently many times, but I can do that. After much practice, I realized that I could no longer believe in victimhood no matter how many times ego offered it to me, and it still does. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. I no longer wish to be a prisoner. Bye bye, ego world. Paragraph 2, lesson 32. I have invented the world I see. We evidently had a thought that separation and specialness would be a fun thing to experience. Being of God, that thought seemed like a command within the dream, and the world began and ended in the same instant. That is our salvation when we're ready to accept it. In truth, God remains the only cause, and nothing has altered his creation. That is our salvation when we're ready to accept it. In the meantime, it is made to give us what we asked for, along with all the drama, pain, and suffering that came with that choice. We made this deliberately, and while here we suffer from the great amnesia that keeps us ignorant of our culpability, and even that there is something else. Nevertheless, the truth is in our minds, though hidden behind layers of thought, and so hidden from our awareness. It will come forward, though, as soon as we want to remember the truth. For us, that is now. This is very exciting to think of. The memory for me has not come all at once, but rather as awakened moments that lasted longer and longer. The peace that comes from this unfolding is sublime, and I look forward with delicious anticipation to the next memory. How could it be that his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? I am what God created, and I am where he established me. All else is nonsense I gladly lay aside. So, paragraph 3, lesson 33. There's another way of looking at the world. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. What glorious news this is. It is always opposite day here until I change my mind and turn it around. I seem to suffer here, so it must be that I'm actually free of all suffering. I remind myself of this daily. If it feels like I'm suffering, I must be confused as to what is possible. The Son of God cannot suffer. It is impossible. So I may as well let go of the belief that I chose to make suffering seem real. For instance, I seem to have inflammation in my feet, and this appears to cause pain. What is not in God cannot be in me. There is no such thing as pain in God, and I am in God, even as I dream of being here. So the pain can only be a strange wish I had. I can let it go. That is the same as saying that I forgive the belief in pain. I practice this daily, trusting that what is not true cannot endure. And so goes all beliefs that cause suffering. This is how the world I made to imprison the Son of God becomes a place where the Son of God finds his freedom. Paragraph 4, Lesson 34. I could see peace instead of this. Now that I know the world is not really a prison and instead is a place the Son of God finds his freedom, I can be at peace here. This is not, it was not always the case, and I had to forgive a lot of ridiculous beliefs in order to achieve peace. Now, while it is not uninterrupted peace, it nearly is. An advantage of having done this work is that I cannot easily tolerate a lack of peace, so I quickly forgive the offending thought. There are a number of forgiveness methods. I've used several, and one is not more effective than another. At first, I used a lot of words because I was still teaching myself what it means to forgive. For me, it distilled into three simple movements. I notice a thought that needs to be questioned. Next, I would look at the thought or belief with the Holy Spirit, allowing the feelings to rise up as well. Then I would accept the healing, basking for a moment in the relief it afforded me. Now that I understand forgiveness, I use whatever words help my mind accept the healing. I repeat myself here as I have shared this before more than a few times. I like a short, concise sentence that's easy to remember. I understand that is ever only my perception that needs to be corrected. So I ask the Holy Spirit to do that for me. Holy Spirit, correct my perception. Seeing peace in the world seems impossible at first, but there is a world in my mind where peace reigns. I trust Jesus more and more. As I, sorry, I trusted Jesus to show me the way, and he has. Now I simply practice the steps he gave me, and more I'm able to see through the veils of thought to the reality that they have obscured for so long. It still blurs and sometimes goes opaque, but my vision clears as I accept his healing. So, paragraph 5 in lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. This is one of my favorite. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. If I thought peace was hard to believe, this lesson just blew my mind, which, by the way, is part of God's and is very holy. Oh my. It begins with letting my mind be cleared of the conflict that had always occupied it. This happens as we want it to, but if we simply accept Jesus at his word and do the practices he asks of us, it will not take as long as you might think. Not that I met those conditions, but I see in retrospect what I could not see at the time. This is not hard unless I make it hard. But one way or another, we will all wake up from our deep sleep and painful dreams. I recommend being vigilant, consistent, and focused. As we take down the veil of dark thoughts that obscures our vision, we see the light beyond. We begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me. Freedom was never far away. It was only hidden behind what I wanted instead. Today, I want truth. The prison was made of thought, so is the key. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.